Hello everybody, welcome. Happy Friday. Today we are going to be making this earring, and if you follow me on Facebook or Instagram, you may have seen a post where I made a whole bunch of these in different colors, and I was asking for a name and you guys came up with some awesome suggestions. And I pondered them all. And I thought about naming it Tiffany because somebody had mentioned like the Tiffany style lamp shade. But in the end, I've decided to call this the Bellflower earring because that's kind of what it reminds me of. And in those earrings that I made, instead of using a dagger here, I used a 6x9mm drop, which to me, I think it actually looks better with the drop. I just didn't have one in the right shade of blue. So I decided to try it with a dagger. So, you know, you can change what's on the bottom. I think it looks more classic with the drop, the shape of it. I just prefer it. And it doesn't matter if it's you know, center drilled, meaning it goes up and down the drop, or if it's top drilled, meaning it's got the hole through the top. It doesn't matter. You make it the same way. And I'll show you that when we get to it. And it is quite a long earring. I mean, this one with this dagger is about 2¼ inches long, but you could make it, maybe if you didn't want the whole thing, you could just make one unit. But with, you know, with the drop, it's about 2 inches. So, you know, it's kind of a shoulder duster-ish. It's quite a long earring, but it's very pretty and it's nice and lightweight as well. Okay, so you're going to need some seed beads, and I'm using 11 Miyuki. I would not recommend using another brand because, for example, Toho are slightly larger, and I don't know if the numbers would work out the same, okay? Then you're going to need some 3mm bicones, or you can also use 3mm pearls. So in one of the ones that I made, I did use 3mm pearls, so you could do that instead if you want to. So you'll need 3 of one color per earring and 6 of your second color per earring, okay? And then obviously you'll need an earring and a back and some kind of drop. So this is a 15mm dagger, you know, just a 1-hole dagger. You don't want to use the really large ones. Or a 6x9 teardrop shaped drop would work as well. And then you're going to need some thread. I actually would use Fireline for this. I just find it, I've made them with all different kinds of thread, and for me the Fireline was a little easier to work with. But today I'm actually using the size 6 dragon thread, which is a little bit slippery, but because I made this one using it, I have to use this. So choose your thread. You could also use something like this if you waxed it, okay? So whichever thread you prefer, I would say Fireline for this one is a little bit easier. And you're going to need about 40 inches, which is about 1 meter of thread. It does take a lot of thread, and you kind of don't want to have to change thread in the middle of it, so do get a long enough piece, okay? All right, I think we are ready to begin. So you're going to want to leave a 4-inch tail that you can weave in at the end, and we're going to begin by picking up 6 of our 11 seed beads. Okay, so you want 6. And you're going to also pick up the main color of your 3mm bicone, and you're going to push all of that down to where you're holding to leave your 4-inch tail, and you're going to go back up through the first 3 seed beads. so we now have this. And this is going to be how we make all of our little sections. Will be made basically the same way except for one section. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to pick up one bead to make a point at the top, and we're going to go down through the other three. So you have a little hat like this, 3 going up, point at the top, 3 going down. So here we're going to pass through our bicone, and if you think about it like this, you always want to build the top, then the bottom, so that you don't want to join them together until the very end, okay? All right, so there's our 7. So now on this side, we're going to pick up 4. Okay, so pick up 4 seed beads. You're going to go through the bicone again. So by passing through the bicone, I ensured that we were starting in the bicone. We're not starting coming out from one of these beads, okay? So I now have 7 on this side, I have 4 on this side. I'm going to go through the first 2 on the bottom. I'm going to call this the bottom, okay? First 2. I'm going to pick up 1 more and go up the next 2. And this is what you're going to remember, is that the top has 7 and the bottom has 5, okay? And now we're going to join them together. So we're going to pick up one of our 11 O's and we're going to go up through the 3 top ones. So I'm coming out from the bottom, so I'm going up the 3 top. I am not going to enter into the top because we will be entering into the top a lot later on when we're doing this section. So we're just going to skip the top, okay? We're going to go through the 3 on the other side, skipping the top, which is the point, okay? And then we're going to pick up 1 to join these 2 halves together. And we're going to go down through all of those beads on that side. And just let your tail hang out. We'll deal with him in a minute, okay? At the end, actually. All right, so, and now I'm going to go all the way up until I come not out from the very top one, but I want to come out from the second bead, okay? So I'm just kind of reinforcing my way around until I come out almost at the top. Oops. Okay, so this is what we should have. And now we're going to build the same thing again. So these 3 are going to be the first 3 we picked up originally. So we only need 3 more. Okay. And then we're going to pick up our next 3mm bicone as well. And then we're going to go up those 3. So from where our red is coming, you're going to count down 3 and you're going to go up. Okay, so that's just like, remember we picked up 6 and we went up the first 3. That's where we are at this point, okay? Now we need to add our point, just like we did before. So we're going to go down through the 3 on the side with our point, okay? Then remember we passed through the bicone because we have to build the 2 halves first, okay? So pass through the bicone. We don't want to join straight on, okay? Then we picked up 4, remember? We picked up 4. We're going through the bicone again. Then we have to add our 1 at the bottom down here, so we go through 2. We pick up 1, we go through the next 2. Okay. Okay, so we're here. Then we're going to pick up 1 to fill in this gap on the side. So pick up 1, and you're going to go through those 3 And remember, we're not going to go through the very top one. We're going to be passing through him later on, okay? And then here we need to add we have our 3 here and our ones down here. So this 4th one here is going to be the one that we fill in the gap with. So we're going to go down through 4 on this side, skipping over the top. Okay, so you're going to go down these 4. And then you're going to continue around the point, the bottom point, okay? And you may need to, at this point, sorry, got my tail involved here. Okay, so at this point, you may need to kind of pull your beads a little bit backwards to fill that hole up, okay? And then we're going to pass all the way up almost to the point. So we're going to come out, not the very top, but the one right before it. So go ahead and just make your way up there. And then we're ready to build our 3rd petal. Okay, so I'm coming out right before the top. So we're going to do the same thing again. And you're going to get used to doing this because you're going to be doing it a lot, okay? So you pick up 3 in your bicone. You're going to go up through these 3. Okay, we're going to add our point at the top of our 7th bead. Okay, so add your point. We're going to pass through the bicone. Then we're going to pick up 4. Pass into the bicone again. Okay. And then you're going to pass through 2. You're going to then pick up your point bead. You're going to go up through the 2 on the side, and your point will sit here, okay? And then remember, we have to fill in the 2 sides. So here we add a bead. We're going to go up 3, and we're going to skip over the top corner. Okay, and then remember here we go down 4 because we're adding, you know, a bead right here. Basically, we're sharing that bead, okay, with both units. And then we're going to continue around here. And this is where you might need to kind of pull it down a little towards you so that they join together. And then we're going to follow the beads all the way up, all the way through the point, this point and that point. So we're going to go all the way until we come to the very first point on our first unit, okay? So just go all the way up to the tippy top and through all 3 of those point beads, which are this one, and this one, okay? So now for our little beads here that are on the top of our unit, basically we have 10 beads that go around. We have 4 on each side, 1 at the top, 1 at the bottom. So I'm coming out of the first of the 4 on the side, so I need to pick up 3 more of my seed beads. And I'm going to pick up 1 of my second color of bicone, okay? And I'm just going to go through that 1 bead 1 more time, just that corner bead right there, okay? And I'm sorry for if you hear gardeners. I have tried filming on every different day of the week, and there is always somebody making a noise in this area. So I'm sorry. Okay, so go ahead and continue around the 3 that you just added and back down through the bicone. So just kind of circle around, okay? And then once you come down the bicone, we're going to enter into the 3rd bead here, the 3rd point. So if those 3 are our base, we're going into the 3rd bead on the end, okay? And so again, this is bead number 1, so we need to pick up 3 more in order to make 4 on our sides. So here are 3 beads, and we're going to go straight down the middle here. Okay, and then go through that 1 bead again, and you can continue around all 4 of those beads, okay? And then we need to add 1 bead at the top, and we already have a bead at the bottom. So go ahead, pick up 1, pass through the next 4 beads. And you're going to exit from, you want to be coming out of the bead that's in the middle, the point of the middle unit, okay? So you're going to go around, you're going to exit from that middle bead, which is the point of your middle petal, okay? And so now we have this. Okay, so I'm coming out on the right hand side. I'm going to pass up through the bicone here. And then I was coming out the right hand side, so I'm going to enter in from the right hand side to the very top bead. And if you're not sure which one it is, look at your middle bead here and count 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's the 5th bead. 1, 2, 3, 4, it's the 5th bead, okay? So that's the one you're going to pass through. And here is where I'm going to add on my earring finding. So depending what kind of earring finding you're using, I have these little gold balls, and they are like this. So I've picked up 1, I'm going to sew through, and I've checked that my holes, my opening is closed. Okay, and then I'm going to pick up 1 more bead. So what I have here on my thread, if I push this down, you'll see. So I have a bead, my earring finding, and a bead, okay? I'm going to enter into that same bead again at the top, the bead that I'm coming out from. And then I'm just going to circle around again just to reinforce that. So I'm going through all of those beads and my earring finding again, okay? And then because I don't just want my earring finding to be attached by this 1 bead right here, I am going to circle all the way around. I'm going to circle around my earring finding again, and then I'm going to circle back down, okay? So go around your earring and then back down to here. And that will help the thread to support that earring finding better, because it's not just holding on by 1 bead. It's going to now be holding on by a whole loop. And I want to come out from that second base bead of the middle flower, the top of the middle flower. Okay. All right. So we should now have this. And I'm coming out from of the 3 in the middle. I'm coming out from the middle of the flower. Okay. And then I can just go down the side here of the 4 beads. And then I'm going to pass down the 3 beads, which will exit me from the point of the flower. So now we're going to add on a second flower, and we do have this little square, which is similar to what we did up here. It repeats, and then the second flower begins. Okay, so we're going to pick up 3 of our seed beads. We're coming out from the left hand side, so I'm going to enter into the right hand side of that bottom bead. And just like before, I don't want this bead to be carrying the entire weight of the bottom of the earring, so I'm going to pass up through the next 3 beads. Okay, so go through 3. All right. And then you're going to pass through the bicone in the middle. And then again, you're going to pass down through the 3 side beads. So 3, 1, 2, 3. And into your base bead. Okay. And then you can continue on through the next 2 beads, so the side bead, and so you're coming out from the bottom bead. Okay, so now you're going to pick up 4 beads, 4 plus one of your second color of bicone. Okay, so I am coming out here. All right, I'm going to enter in on the same side that I'm coming out from. And this is a little bit weird, but just trust me on this. Okay, and then I'm going to kind of turn my thread so that that bead, the bicone, is like in the middle. Okay, and now I'm going to pick up 4 seed beads again. I'm going to go up through the bicone. Okay, and then I'm going to enter into that middle bead again from the left to the right. Okay, so I'm going into that middle bead again from the side that I just added on. Okay, so now I have this, and then I'm going to go around the first 4 beads. So just keep going. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then here I need to add 1 bead. So I'm going to do that. So add 1 bead and go through the next 4. And also the one at the bottom of your little unit there. Okay. And because I don't want the weight to be hanging on this bead either, I'm going to circle around my unit right here. So I'm going through the side bead, through that point bead, through the side bead, and again through the point, and then I'm going to circle around until I come. So if this is my middle bead here of this unit, this is my center. Okay, You're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the other middle on the other end. You're going to come out the next bead over. Okay, so go ahead and get over there. Okay, so you should have, if this is your middle bead right here, you should have 3 beads, and then you're coming out from the 4th bead. Okay. So now we're going to build another flower, and this very first petal is ever so slightly different just because we're going in a different direction than we did before. So you're going to pick up 3 plus your 1 bicone, okay, and plus 3 more. And the thing is, we're coming out the point here, so we have to basically go into it because we don't have anywhere else to go. So just enter back into that same bead again, okay? And then you're going to go down your 3 beads. Then you're going to pass through your bicone. You're going to add your 4 beads just like we did before. It's just we're going in a different direction. So pick up your 4. And now, instead of circling back around to add the point, because we're going in the correct direction, we're going to go up our first 3 on the top section. Okay, so go up your first 3, skip that point, skip that, go down your next 3, okay, so go down those 3, and then we need to fill in here, so we're going to pick up 1. We're going to fill in our gap, so go down 2. We need to add our point bead here, so pick up 1. You're going to go through the next 2, and then you're going to pick up 1 more, and you're going to go up the next 3. Okay, so now we've finished our teardrop here. Okay, our first petal is complete. So you should be coming out before your point, and then we're just going to repeat exactly what we did before, where we pick up 3 and our bicone. We go up the 3, okay, but instead of having to pick up a point bead here, we can just sew through the next bead on the ring, okay, and that will become our point for that section. And then we can just sew down our 3, sew through our middle bicone, then we pick up our 4, we go through the bicone again, we go up through the first 2, we add our point, we go through the next 2, we pick up 1, we go up 3, skip the point, go down 4 here. Remember how we're sharing that that bead, so we're going down through 4. And then we are circling around here. Remember, we're joining, kind of pulling that towards the previous petal. And then we can pass that through all the beads and exit right before the point for our last petal. Okay, so I'm not coming out from the point, I'm just coming out from the third bead, and then I'm going to, oops, no I'm not. So I'm coming out right here. I'm going to pick up 3 and my last of my first color of bicone. I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3, 3 on the side here, so that I'm coming out from the same bead where my thread is coming out. I go through the point, which is the next bead. Okay, go through the next bead on the circle above, go down through the 3, through the bicone, add 4, go through the bicone, go down the first 2, add your point, through the next 2, pick up 1, go up 3, skip the point, and then go down 4, and then we're going to circle all the way around this petal again. So just go ahead and remember to kind of pull that, because we're joining right here, so you have to circle around to join that part because it hasn't been joined yet. And then I'm going to go up, and this time I am going to reinforce that that point just because I can. And then we're going to go down through our 4. Okay, go down through our 4. And again, just like we did before, we're going to pop out from the bead at the bottom. Okay, so just work your way down to the middle of the next point. So we now have 2. And I mean, if you wanted to make a bracelet, you could just keep going forever with this. It would take you a long time though. Okay, so now we just have to add our little kind of tulip area. I call it a tulip because that's kind of what it looks like to me. So this is very similar to what we did before. You're going to pick up 4 and your bicone, and we're going to go through, so where we're coming out, we're just going straight back into that one bead. Okay, and then we're going to flip it around so that the seed beads are on the outside. Okay, and then we're going to pick up 4, we're going to go up through the bicone, and we're going to pass through that middle bead again. Okay, from the other side this time. All right, so now we have this. Then remember how we joined before. We're going to do that again. So we're going to go up through 3 beads on our petal. So you're going to go up 3, all right? You're going to go through the bicone. And then you're going to go down 3, and pass through that middle bead. Okay, so you should have, from the middle bead, you should have 4 on each side. Yes. So this is where we're going to attach our drop. So whether your drop is side drilled or center drilled, it shouldn't matter. It's essentially the same. So you're going to go through the 4 beads on the side, okay? You're going to pick up 1 more bead. Okay, so you're going to pick up a 5th bead. If your bead is center drilled, you're just going to go down, you're going to pick up 1 at the bottom, and then you're going to sew back up, pick up 1 bead, and then you're going to sew up the 4 on the other side. If your drop is top drilled, like mine is, okay, top drilled, you're going to pick up 1 bead, you're going to pass through your drop, and then you're going to pick up 1 bead on the other side. And you're going to sew back through the 4 beads on the other side and come out from that top bead, okay? So here we are. So I am now going to go around again in order to reinforce. So again, if your bead is up to down, you're still going to have your 2 extra beads here. You're just going to go down the middle and add 1 and come back up, okay? So it should be the same beads regardless of how your drop is. Okay, so just reinforce. Okay, so once you've reinforced that, you might want to give it a little tug, and then you'll see more of the kind of tulip shape at the bottom there. And then we're going to tie off our thread. And the way I like to do this is I pass up through my 3 beads on my flower, okay? I go through my bicone here. And then I go through 3 beads on the edge plus the point. And then I tie my knot here. So you're just going to pass through this little triangle with your needle right here, okay? And almost pull through, but not all the way. You're going to go through your loop here. And then you're just going to tighten that. And then what I've been doing is I just sew up through the 3 here and up through the middle 3 right here. And then I cut off my thread. And I do exactly the same thing with my other end. So with this end, because I'm coming out right before the bottom, I sew down to here, I tie my knot, and then I sew up. Okay, so I'm going to do that, and then I will be back. Okay, so now I just have to put my earring back on, and my earrings are now finished. So here they are. And I really love this colorway. I think this is my favorite one so far that I've done. Let me zoom you out a little so you can see them. All right, so here they are. They're very pretty. They hang nicely, they drape nicely, and I just love these. They're so much fun to make. Like I say, this is like my 4th pair, I think, and I just love playing with the different colors. And I mean, they're a little time consuming, but I think it's worth it because they're just so elegant and nice looking when you're finished. So I hope you try them, and if you do, please share them if you can, and tag me on social media. And if you're not in our Facebook group, if you're on Facebook, you can join our group. It's called Jules and Rose's Beading Buds. And I will put a link for that down in the description along with all the materials and things that I used. Okay, take care for now, and I hope you make these lovely bellflower earrings, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.